So just to make to give a brief introduction, so this is a panel that we've set up on consumer sentiment. To help us understand some of these trends, we have set up a distinguished set of panelists today at the Access Capital Expert Speaker Session. I'll anyway give an introduction, a very brief introduction to our panelists. So we have with us Mr. Sunil Suresh, who's the Group Chief Marketing Officer at MakeMyTrip. We have Mr. Akshay Dsouza, Chief of Growth and Insight at Bizom, an SAS-based retail technology company based out of Bangalore. And we also have Ms. Pushpa Bector, Executive Director at DLF Malls. Are we seeing only the risk takers among us traveling now, or do you also see multi-generational households traveling at this point in time?
See, I think if I look at travel, and let me begin by talking about travel sentiment. So travel sentiment is something we track very closely on an ongoing basis. And what we've seen is it actually correlates very strongly with actual travel numbers as well. So if you look at travel sentiment, when COVID hit us, right, in the month of, say, April 20, the overall sentiment was actually -40. It built up to about +9 around end December, January of 21. Even at the peak of the second wave, right, when there was mayhem, certainly in parts of India, it went down to only about -19. I think the fear was very high right at the beginning when things were completely unknown and people weren't sure what this is all about. And since it went up, I mean, if I look at October, it went up to about +22, which is actually the highest number we saw post-pandemic. We're seeing between 80 to 90% recovery versus, say, the same period pre-COVID. I mean, obviously, last couple of weeks with all of this news of Omicron and all of that, I think things have got impacted a little bit, but a little bit, I'd say, right? I mean, maybe about 15% reduction in travel numbers, some people being cautious. So I don't think fear is very high right now, but definitely people are being cautious largely because of uncertainty.
So Akshay, maybe if you could just walk us through your data set, the process, how you collect it and how the analysis is done.
Sure. So thanks for having me here. So what we essentially do is, we have our own mobile first platform and product that kind of encompasses solutions from digitization for brands to optimization to even growth enablement or even expansion, for them, depending on which stage of their cycle which they are kind of looking to drive. So this is what we did. It is to give all real-time information. I think that's one of our USPs. And two, I think one of the things that we're doing very, very well of late is, almost every brand is looking at a omni-channel kind of strategy because consumer is getting the information from everywhere today. And he may choose to buy from anywhere. And how do we enable this whole omni-channel strategy for brands is something that we are executing at scale for a lot of brands, a lot of large brands. Only home care probably is systemically affected compared to last year, but not so much confectionery. I think they will rebound is what I get a sense of. Other than that, I think, commodities had a good October. So I think people actually started building up very well towards the season, which is Diwali. And packaged foods in particular is seeing a good uplift.
Consumers are stepping out and spending. What has been your experience? Are we moving back to normal? I mean, in terms of shopping habits as well?
Yeah, in fact, we just closed our November, and I can tell you this, that right from August to November, month on month, we have seen a growth on sales across my portfolio by around 15% month on month, which means in November, I can safely say we have exceeded the pre-COVID November 1920 sales. F&B is clocking 90% previous levels. Some of them, the bars have started clocking 120% previous levels, etc. When I look at athletic leisure, that's another category that's doing extremely well. Luxury is a whole different ballgame. What we have seen in luxury is because the international travel has stopped, so the domestic consumption of luxury has improved tremendously. International brands are actually clocking now almost 150% above pre-COVID level sales. After the first wave, everyone said, oh, is brick and mortar not going to come back at all into fashion? Is it going to be all online? Actually, that particular debate got set to rest now for quite a while, because people went online, and online is growing. It's grown up to 22% of the organized retail pie. They've actually taken 22%, which is great. But physical retail is equally growing to 22-25%. And that's the rate of growth for physical retail also.
Thank you very much,